Reading anyway. I know I'm going to take more time than I said, probably, but I do.
10 minutes when I cut you off.
Okay, whatever. I had actually planned for like an hour and a half of entertainment tonight, but quite seriously though, I want to say that that we are not in Big Sur, as you well are aware by looking around. And hopefully next time you come, we will be in Big Sur. And at the Henry Miller Library, where this thing sort of emanates from. So you can imagine the big redwood trees and the beautiful place down there. And Henry Miller, the writer, he didn't go to any writing workshops, I can assure you. And he certainly needed an editor in some places. But he wrote about himself, and I just want to read this to you real quick, because I do that pretty much every writing workshop, and I think it's so pertinent. He says about writing, when he starts out, he tried for a very, very long time. He's a classic example of someone who was totally overburdened by all of the influences in his life. It was Dostoevsky, oh. It was Knut Hamsun, oh. Emerson, oh. Thoreau, all of these fantastic writers, and he was carrying them all on his shoulders, trying to be them, until the one day he decided to throw them all off his backpack and write his own thing, and then he became famous, writing the famous book Tropic of Cancer. By the way, if you want to make it a success in the publishing world, try writing a book that gets banned. It's a great idea. Then you can sort of build up the excitement, the pressure cooker starts cooking, the Supreme Court takes it up, and you sell 500,000 copies in less than 2 months. Anyway, so here's what Henry says. I was so in love with the idea of being a writer that I could scarcely write. The amount of physical energy I possessed was unbelievable. I wore myself out in preparation. It was impossible for me to sit down quietly and just turn on the flow. I was dancing inside. I wanted to describe the world I knew and be in it at the same time. It never occurred to me that with just 2 or 3 hours of steady work a day, I could write the thickest book imaginable. It was my belief that if a man sat down to write, he should remain glued to his seat for 8 or 10 hours at a stretch. One ought to write and write until he dropped from exhaustion. That was how I imagined writers went about their task. My frenzy to live the life of the writer was so great that I overlooked the vast reservoir of material which had accumulated during the years leading up to this moment. I felt impelled to write about the immediate, about what was happening outside my very door, something fresh. That's what I was after. To do this was compulsive because, whether I was aware of it or not, the material which I had stored up had been chewed to a frazzle during the years of frustration, doubt, and despair, when everything I had to say was written out in my head. Add to this that I felt like a boxer or wrestler getting ready for the big event.